Welcome students. We are learning chapter number 3, chemical reactions and equations. Let me tell you one thing students. If you are lagging behind, please go and watch all the tutorial videos because each and every content, each and every video is connected to each other. So it is very important to watch all the videos completely. Okay, and do your regular assignment. Okay, so let's revise what we have learned in our last class. So we have learned endothermic and exothermic processes. What is endothermic process? Here in this processes what happened? Heat from outside is absorbed during some physical changes in a reaction. Then this process is called as endothermic process. So endothermic, which means heat is absorbed. For example, melting of ice. Then opposite of this, that is exothermic reaction. That means exothermic process. What is exothermic process? Heat is given out during some physical changes in a reaction. Then this process is called as exothermic process. Endothermic process, heat is absorbed, and in exothermic process, heat is given out. For example, formation of ice from water. Okay, similarly endothermic and exothermic reactions. Let's see what are these terms means. Okay, so endothermic reaction, which means during endothermic reactions heat is either absorbed from the surrounding or has to be supplied continuously from outside. So in endothermic reactions also you have to remember heat is absorbed and the term heat is written on the reactant side. Okay, yes. Now what is exothermic reaction? During exothermic reaction heat is given out and the term heat is written on the product side. Okay, look at the reaction, you will understood the difference between both the endothermic and exothermic reactions. Okay, then the rate of each reaction is different. Rate of the chemical reaction. So some reactions are completed in very short period of time while some required long time to complete. As this we have seen in our last class, we separate some processes in slow process and as a fast process. So same reactions occurs at a different rate with the changing conditions. So this everything we have learned in our last class, and I have given you homework assignment also. I hope all did it very nicely. So let's see what is what is the assignment. So I have given to identify the endothermic and exothermic reactions. So as I have told you, what is endothermic reactions? Endothermic reaction, heat is written on the reactant side and on the arrow mark there is a symbol of heat which is shown. Then it is endothermic. But when heat is written on the product side, then it is called as exothermic reaction. So here in the first example, heat is written on the product side, so it is exothermic reaction. In the second reaction, the symbol of heat is there. Yes, that means it is endothermic reaction. Again, the third reaction, heat is written on the product side, so it is exothermic reaction. And the fourth one is again endothermic reaction because the symbol is there. Okay, so this everything is about our last class. So today we are going to move the next topic, that is factors affecting the rate of chemical reaction. Now let's see what are the different kinds of factors which decide the rate of chemical reaction. First is the nature of the reactants. Okay, what is that? Let's see. On the reaction of both aluminium and zinc with dilute HCl, that is dilute hydrochloric acid, H2 gas is liberated and water soluble salt of these metals are formed. So on the reaction of aluminium and zinc with dilute HCl, what happens? H2 gas is liberated and water soluble salt of these metals are formed. Then the reaction of aluminium metal takes place faster as compared to zinc metal. Okay, so why this kind of thing happens? Because aluminum is a more reactive than zinc. Therefore, the rate of reaction of aluminum with hydrochloric acid is higher than that of zinc. Okay, so here what happens? Aluminium is more reactive. Therefore, the rate of reaction of aluminium with HCl is higher. Okay, and zinc is less reactive and therefore its rate of reaction is lower. So, the nature or reactivity of reactants influences the rate of a chemical reaction. Okay. Yes. Now next is size of the particles of reactant. Yes, size also matters. How? Let's see. The rate of reaction depend upon the size of particles of reactants taking part in the reaction. Smaller the size of the reactant particle, higher the rate of the reaction. See, if the reactants are small in size, then the rate of reaction is higher because yes, the reaction will complete very fastly if the reactant are smaller in size. But if the reactants are bigger in size, then what happens? The reaction will take place very slowly because the reactants are very bigger. So, smaller the size of reactant particle, higher is the rate of the reaction. Now next is concentration of the reactant. What is that? Here you have to remember only one thing, that is concentrated acid react faster than the dilute acid, which means that the rate of reaction is proportional to the concentration of the reactant. Higher the concentrated acid we use, higher is the rate of reaction. I hope you know that concentrated acid is very dangerous. When we add something, when we add concentrated acid in any kind of solution, it reacts very fast. Okay, for example, dilute HCl react slowly with CaCO3 and therefore CaCO3 disappears slowly and CO2 also liberates slowly. On the other hand, the reaction with concentrated HCl takes place rapidly and CaCO3 disappear fast. So here you have to remember only one thing, that concentrated acid react faster than the dilute acid. Now next is temperature of the reactant. In a decomposition reaction of limestone, what is decomposition reaction? That means breakup. Okay, remember from the one reactant we will get two products in decomposition reaction. So the lime water does not turn milky before heating the limestone because of the zero rate of reaction. From this it is learned that the rate of reaction increases on increasing the temperature. Here let's take one example. During summer season, if we keep our food in outside somewhere, then what happen? It gets destroyed. Why? Because the rate of reaction increases with the temperature. But what happened when we kept our food stuff in refrigerator? Yes, then what happened? Then it will remain safe because in refrigerator the temperature is low. So the rate of reaction increases with increasing the temperature. Role of catalyst. What is catalyst? The substance in whose presence the rate of chemical reaction changes without causing any chemical change to it is called as catalyst. So basically catalyst, what it does, catalyst whose presence the rate of chemical reaction changes. Okay, catalyst, yes, when catalyst is there in the reaction, then the chemical reaction changes, but it doesn't cause any chemical change to it. It doesn't cause, but it doesn't take part in the reaction, but the rate of the chemical reaction changes with the help of catalyst. So here one reaction is given. On heating, potassium chromate decomposes slowly. This is reaction which is you just have to remember the role of catalyst. Okay. Yes. Now the most important topic, that is oxidation and reduction, and it is very easy, very easy. Let's learn what is oxidation reaction. The chemical reaction in which a reactant combines with oxygen, that means it gains oxygen or loses hydrogen to form the product, is called as oxidation reaction. So here what happens in the oxidation reaction? In the first reaction, what is the first reaction? 2 Mg plus O2 will gives 2 MgO. Here O2 is there on the reactant side. Okay, and on the last equation, that is MgH2 will give Mg plus H2. Hydrogen is there at the product side. So whenever you will see that there is in the reaction that there is O2 is added in the reactant side and H2 is there in the product side, then that means it loses hydrogen atom, and this reaction is called as oxidation reaction. Okay, yes, sometimes you either see O2 is there on the reactant side and H2 is there on the product side, then you have to understand that this reaction is oxidation reaction. Okay, now what is reduction reaction? So the chemical reaction in which the reactant gain hydrogen and loses oxygen to form a product. Okay, so it is opposite of oxidation reaction. Oxidation reaction, what happens? Oxygen, that is O2, is there on the reactant side, but here H2 is there on the reactant side. Okay, so that is the difference. The substance that bring about reduction is called as reductant or a reducing agent. So whenever you will see the reaction where H2 is there on the reactant side, then it is called as reduction reaction, and O2 is there on the reactant side, then it is called as oxidation reaction. Okay, so here some difference I have written, that is in oxidation reaction, reactant gain oxygen and loses hydrogen to form a product, and in a reduction reaction, reactant gain hydrogen and loses oxygen to form a product. Okay, some oxidation reactions are brought about by use of specific chemical substances. For example, here ethyl alcohol in the presence of K2Cr2O7 and H2SO4, and above the arrow mark, that is in bracket O, is written. What is that means? That means a nascent oxygen. It is called as nascent oxygen. Okay, it will give what? Acetic acid. So here in the above reaction, acetic potassium dichromate, that is K2Cr2O7, makes oxygen available for the oxidation of the reactant ethyl alcohol. So K2Cr2O7, it is what it does, it makes oxygen available for the reaction. Such chemical substance which brings about an oxidation reaction by making oxygen available are called as oxidizing agent. So here in the above equation, who is the oxidizing agent? Yes, K2Cr2O7, because it makes oxygen available for the reaction. A variety of oxidizing agents are used to bring about the oxidation. For example, K2Cr2O7 and H2SO4, this we have used in our above equation, and KMNO4 and H2SO4, these are the most commonly used in the reaction. Okay, yes, then hydrogen peroxide H2O2 is used as a mild oxidant, and ozone, that is O3, is also a chemical oxidant. Nascent oxygen is generated by chemical oxidant and it is used for the oxidation reaction. As I have told you earlier that here in the reaction you just have to remember the term, that is what is nascent oxygen, that means the oxygen which is there in the bracket. Okay, so nascent oxygen is represented by writing a symbol of in bracket O. Okay, then student, let me tell you one thing, that which oxidant is used for purification of drinking water? Chlorine is used. And potassium permanganate is a strong oxidizing agent. It is also used during cleaning of drinking water. Okay, cleaning of water tanks. So potassium permanganate is a chemical oxidant. Here one reaction is given. Just look at the reaction. What happens? Here on the reactant side FeSO4 is there. On the product side it is Fe2SO4 3 is there. So here FeSO4 is transformed into Fe2SO4. So why this kind of conversation happen? Let's see. So what happened? FeSO4 gets transformed into Fe2SO4 3. This is a ionic reaction where Fe has a charge 2 plus and SO4 has a charge 2 minus. Then it gives the charge gets increases on Fe, that is 3 plus SO4 2 minus. So the net charge taking place in the above conversation is shown by the net ionic reaction is shown below. So the net ionic reaction is what? See here, Fe2 plus gets converted into Fe3 plus. That means ferrous gets converted into ferric. So when ferric ion is formed by ferrous ion, the positive charge is increased by 1 unit. That is, here 2 plus is there, but here what we will see? 3 plus. While this happens, the ferrous ion loses 1 electron. So oxidation means losing of 1 or more electron. Okay. Yes, I hope you all understood our today's session, our today's class. So I have given one assignment, that is you have to identify oxidation and reduction reaction. I have already told you that when O2 is there on the reactant side, it is which reaction? You have to remember that. And when H2 is there on the reactant side, it is which reaction? I hope you understood this. Okay, do your regular assignment, do your homework and watch video again and again. Whatever I have written, make your own notes. It is very important to make your own notes. Okay, so make your own notes and do your assignment. Thank you. All the best.